Adam Collins of Crick Buzz here at Lords. Australia's Ashes squad, hasn't it been a long time coming? They didn't announce it before leaving the country. They've had a series of Australia A games. They've had a practice match against each other this week down in Southampton, which only ran for about 2.5 days. But we finally know who the 17 men will be who are attempting to retain the Ashes urn, which they won back in 2017-18 in Australia. Of course, Australia haven't won an Ashes series in England since 2001. It's been a very long time coming, so the squad is all important. Now, the crucial information is that it's going to be a radically different side to the one that beat Sri Lanka in Canberra back in early February. Joe Burns, who made a century there, Curtis Patterson, who made a century there, have both missed out. In the case of Burns, that's a relatively controversial decision on the basis that it paves the way for Cameron Bancroft to return to the Australian side. Of course, the last time that Bancroft played in the baggy green, it was the infamous Newlands sandpaper debacle. But he joins David Warner and Stephen Smith, who've already been back in national colours through the course of the World Cup. Bancroft makes a third of that sandpaper trio who've been reintegrated to the national squad. So Bancroft essentially replaces Burns. With Burns, we heard from the chief selector, Trevor Hones, that the reason they didn't go with him in the end is that he did miss a lot of cricket with an illness, which meant that he had to go home at the start of the county cricket season. So here was Trevor Hones addressing the issue of the opening batsman who will partner David Warner.
With the three we've just spoken about coming back in, there was always going to be a squeeze on. We're very comfortable with the form of Marcus Harris, very much so. He's had a wonderful season last year back home. He's been in good form since he's been here. So he probably got the nod over a Burns in that area. I think it's just a judgment call on how people are playing at the time and what we think the requirements are. So he hasn't done anything wrong, and I think we ask all of our players these days, if they are left out, to just go back and bang the door down, a little bit like Matthew Wade has done. He's really made a good case for himself by scoring runs, and that's all we can ask them to do.
Marcus Harris is the third opener Australia will have to choose from. Travis Head will certainly bat at number 5 with Khawaja at 3 and Smith at 4. As for who bats number 6, that's quite complicated really. Marnus Labuschagne has been brought into the squad on the basis that he can bat in that position, and he'll also serve as Nathan Lyon's understudy. They're not taking a second specialist spinner. John Holland has missed the cut, but Labuschagne, the Queenslander, with his useful leg breaks, he's bowled nearly 200 overs in county cricket this year in Division 2, we've been told by the selectors, as part of the rationale for why he's been included. But Mitchell Marsh is also back into reckoning, the former vice-captain. He's not vice-captain anymore, but he has got the chance, if they're going for a bowling all-rounder, to bat at number 6. Michael Neser from Queensland was outstanding in the tour game. Not always known for his batting, but he has made runs at first-class level. So number 6 will be a lot of debate through the next few days before we get to Birmingham for that first test match. As for the fast bowl as well, they're spoilt for choice, the Australians. Neser does add a bit of depth. Peter Siddle is back into international consideration. He's been in and out of the side since Justin Langer took over as coach this time last year, but they do like Siddle. They love him in these conditions. He's been outstanding for Essex, so he wins an opportunity to again play in the baggy green. It'll be the 4th time he's played in an Ashes series in this country if he does get the chance at some stage through the next 7 weeks. Of course, there's Pat Cummins, Josh Hazlewood and Mitchell Starc, who picked themselves, and the Smoky, the wild card, James Pattinson. Hasn't played Test cricket since early 2016, but we know he's quick, we know he's fearsome, we know he's in red hot form, and when Trevor Hones was asked about the Victorian, there was a glint in his eye.
Very excited that he's back, if I can say that. He's been fantastic since he's been back involved with the Australian cricket team. It's all credit to him to get back to where he is now after a couple of horrendous injuries that he's had to endure. But he's a bubbly character, he's lively, he's bowling very, very well, and we're very excited to have him back in our squad.
Last but not least, in terms of the major talking points, welcome back Matthew Wade. We thought we'd never see Matthew Wade in the baggy green again, but it's not going to be with the gloves. Tim Payne will do that role, although Wade will be effectively his understudy. But I talked about the number 6 spot. If they want to go all batsmen, why wouldn't they play Matthew Wade? He's got a fantastic record over the last 12 months in both red ball cricket and white ball cricket. He made 100 last week in one of the preparation games. He made one of the fastest hundreds of all time in List A cricket more than 3 or 4 weeks ago during the World Cup, when on that portion of the A Tour. So Matthew Wade, it's been a roller coaster international career for him, but what a story it would be if he turned out for Australia in an Ashes series as a specialist batsman. Who knows, it could be possible. So there is a squad of 17. There are still quite a few questions to be answered before Thursday when they name that final 11, but at last we know it's going to be pulsating cricket, I have no doubt. Follow it all on CricBuzz through the course of the next 7 weeks. Adam Collins signing off at Lords, where we'll be for the second test match. We cannot wait.